Alongside Vanessa Litchard, I am Austin Bryan. We're welcoming you into Sports Night, and here we are to give you a few of our hot takes rounding out mid to late seasons of some of the sports. So Vanessa, I'll have you start it off.
Well, I have to dive into one of my favorite sports, hockey. NHL hockey, okay? The big question right now is who's going to win the Stanley Cup? And my hot take is that the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup. Even though they just lost a bunch of games, and there's a viral video going around of one of the Oilers fans throwing his jersey onto the ice. Keep in mind, jerseys are $120. I still think the Oilers can somehow whip it up with McDavid leading the pack and go into the conference finals and win. I think that's a hot take, and I believe in McDavid, so.
I wouldn't pick it, so I guess, yeah, it's a hot take. I wouldn't pick the Oilers right now.
You said that these takes have to be out of this world,
so. Spicy with a pepper emoji. But for my first hot take, I have to take it to the hardwood. For the Pistons, it's been an odd season. With bringing Blake Griffin here, you saw some early success. You saw a huge start, like 14-game winning streak near the beginning or something ridiculous. And then it fell off, and now they're below 500 again. For my hot take, I think that since the trade deadline's gone, we can't move Andre Drummond. I think this summer, Andre and Blake are gone. I think that Tom Gores doesn't realize that he can run a two-man centered big guy game, but I think that his co-associates under him know that the league has moved on to a more three-point outside of the paint game. So I believe that during this summer, Blake and Andre possibly, if not both, one of them definitely are leaving for the betterment of this team.
How long is Blake's contract with the Pistons?
He has next year to finish out. We signed him to a 2-year, not signed, we traded when he had 2 years left. Andre also has 2 years left. So if we get him out with 1 year left before free agency, you save cap the next year, you get a pick, you get a player. It's dumb not to do it, but Drummond is our owner's best friend, and look it up online. I might even pull it on the side for you. Andre doesn't like our owner, so it's time for somebody to move on. But go ahead. I'm sure your next one's probably better than that one.
Well, I mean, as indeed that is a hot take, I'm going to have to continue and talk about hockey, but this time we're going to focus on college hockey. This is a little biased because I am from Michigan, but Quinn Hughes is the best player in the NCAA, period. I can go on and on talk about Quinn Hughes because not only is he a good defenseman and will leave Michigan this year to go play in the NHL, but he's one of my favorite players and the best player in the whole NCAA. And I know you know a little bit about hockey, so tell me what you think about that hot take.
I mean, Quentin Hughes, he's pretty darn good. I mean, he's like a really, really offensive defenseman, which is the best part about him because I play defense, and I'm more offensive defensive because it's more an initiative when you're that way. You give your team a little bit more maneuverability, which is great about Quentin Hughes. The only issue is now Vanessa's going to become a Vancouver fan because she doesn't care about home teams. But more or less,
that was a
Quentin Hughes is amazing. His little brother's better.
Yes.
But we'll have to see how it goes.
That's a hard comparison, though, because, like, imagine just constantly being compared to, like, your brother. Like, Jack Hughes is great, though, I guess. But Quinn Hughes, hot take, is better.
So she's a Vancouver fan.
I'm a Quinn Hughes fan.
For my last hot take, I have to take it to the turf. So with the Lions being the team that I, for some reason, care about.
Boo.
Yeah, exactly. I often do deep dives into things like their analysis, their finances, and their PR releases. So recently, our new owner decided that he came out and said he was bluntly asked if he would take a quarterback with our 8th pick during this year's draft. He responded with saying, "Stafford is our quarterback moving forward, but I am not objecting to taking any position during our draft." He mentioned how the Lions have not had a top 10 draft pick in quite some time and that he does not want to waste it. So the idea that we're bringing somebody like Kyler Murray here or Dwayne Haskins Jr., I love it. I hate Stafford. Great guy. Hate him as a football player. His contract is overrated. Everything about him is overrated. Since college, the man hasn't won anything. Actually, he didn't win anything in college. Since his senior year of high school, he hasn't won anything. It's time to move on. But more or less the hot take with this is I think we're going to trade down in our draft with our 8th pick. I think Miami is going to trade up for our 8th pick. We're going to trade back for, I think they have somewhere in the 15 range.
Yeah, I think
we're going to steal their draft pick. We're going to take, I honestly want to say a free safety or a super safety for our team because ours are getting a little bit older and later in their contracts. But my hot take is that we're going to trade away our 8th pick to move backwards in the draft. We're going to take Greedy Williams on defense, and we're not going to move forward with a quarterback. While that sucks as a hot take because I want to move on with the quarterback, it's unfortunate that I really do believe we're going to trade back.
Okay, couple comments on those really quick. I like when you talk about Detroit teams, you say we. dedication. I respect it, especially with the Pistons, Lions, Red Wings all sucking this year. But also, Matthew Stafford's one of the highest paid players in the NFL. That's ridiculous. I mean, what has he done for the Lions? Nothing, as you just stated. So to maybe drop back on the quarterback could be something that, yes, Stafford's good, but like a change is obviously needed. The Lions have sucked for the past, since I have been born. I've been like 20.
1957.
Yeah. So one of the few teams to never win a Super Bowl. So that's definitely a good hot take.
Yeah, I think it's not our time per se next year. I think the only teams next year making huge steps will be the Tigers, where they have the only team in Detroit that have openly admitted to a rebuild. So not a lot to look forward to in the next year, but in 2 years, I honestly think here's a new hot take. In 2 years, all 4 of our major league teams will be in a playoff position again. Whether they win or lose once they get there, that's up for debate.
I would love to see the Red Wings.
Yeah, I would love to see any of them because then I have something to go do.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us here on Sports Night. Come back next week around the same time. And from here at Studio A, we wish you guys a great Sports Night.
And go Blue.